What's going on, guys? Too Fast Joe here, and welcome to the Too Fast Podcast. With me today, I had two very special guests. First, we have Generation Defenders.
Hey guys, it's nice to be here once again. Check out my channel after this podcast to see some amazing content.
Yes, go check her out. And for our third guest, we have Ruby.
Hi everyone, this is Ruby here.
Awesome. And today we'll be talking about Frozen 2. Now, let's just talk about what we did like.
All right, let's start off with I think the biggest improvement in the movie, the animation. Everything about this movie looks so good in the small time that the first one and the second one released apart from each other, because the background looks so realistic and the characters look so fleshed out compared to Frozen 1.
Right.
Um, uh,
I really like the texture in their skins because you actually see like the freckles and stuff like that.
exactly, because in the first movie, when you looked at Anna and Elsa, especially Elsa, she looked more like a doll rather than an actual person. And in this one, you do look at her and you see like flesh. And
Right. In the first one, she looked like a porcelain doll.
yeah, yeah, her and Anna look like just walking porcelain dolls.
Hmm.
And what I liked about this film is how they also improved, the particle effects. How, when Elsa's using her powers, it looks really well. Even at one point in the movie, you see fire, and the fire looks really. It just looks alive in some cases. And
Yeah.
I know it's silly, but
If I touch it, it will burn me.
yes.
Yeah. Okay, it had like purple fire, like think that's supposed to be hotter than blue fire.
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Yeah. You can talk, Ruby.
okay, when I see the animation, that must be a lot of work just to make it higher than Pixar is.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Right.
I guess the Disney animation are trying to get one foot up or more than Pixar. Pixar, you see all the trailers lately for like Soul and Onward.
Mm-hmm.
They're gorgeous as well, but this movie look perfection.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It really is just it's just beautiful how animation is just it keeps improving, especially with 3D animation. Because if you compare this movie to the first Toy Story, we improved so much in just a couple of years.
Yeah.
And as an animation student, it's just beautiful and enjoyable to watch all this.
All this progress.
Yes.
Yeah. And I like
Yes.
also I did like how in the beginning Elsa had like one ponytail and Anna had two ponytails or like braided. That shows that Elsa was the first sister and then Anna with the second sister. It's like little details like that I really love.
Mm-hmm.
No one did anyone notice the Baymax no little snow thing in the beginning as well?
Oh, I didn't notice
The
that.
Baymax.
Yeah,
They
that's
were
cool.
playing with the snow Baymax in the corner.
That's cool.
The snow figure of him.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't see. Didn't see Baymax.
I noticed it till my mom say, "Hey, is that Baymax?"
Yeah, marshmallow.
It's our little marshmallow.
Nah, it's just a Michelin man, product placement.
Mm-hmm.
They say, "Ooh, we need that kaching."
Mm-hmm. We need that money.
Um I like the music, Overall, I think the soundtrack in this movie was really good. I like Into the Unknown, and I like the opening when it has like more tribal music.
Mm-hmm. I
And
think. Mhm.
yeah, and the singer was really good. The one that did Elsa is singing.
Yeah, when she hits those high notes, you can just sort of feel all the energy she puts into her songs. Like I know that Let It Go is kind of overplayed to death by now, but this woman has such talent. She does deserve that recognition that she's getting. And when she sings any song in this movie, she just is putting all her soul and her effort into this. It's like, yes, Yes, just keep singing.
You go, girl.
Yeah, you go slay it, queen. You're the queen now.
For now, in the beginning.
Hmm. Oh yeah,
Spoilers.
spoiler alert.
Oil everywhere.
Hmm. Um, Another thing that I liked about this movie is Elsa's new character arc, because in the first movie, this was more Anna's story, and like Elsa was just kind of like a side character. Even though,
Side villain or the side problems.
yeah, you could like argue she was either like, well, the problem is Elsa is that she didn't really have like a prominent character role. Like you could argue if she was like the villain, or she was just the victim, or she was like a
Well,
main
she wasn't
character.
intentionally trying to be bad. She was the antagonist. You know,
Hmm.
all the problems stem from her.
Hmm. It's just that it wasn't as I guess you could say she wasn't really a defined character in the first one, but in this one, she is a lot more defined. She has more personality in this one than in the other
A
one.
role.
Yeah,
She finally got a role in the first one. I was so happy with.
Hmm.
yeah. She actually has like determination and a goal.
Yeah,
I
and like
love her sister.
yeah, and like in the first movie, it was about the love between two sisters, and in this one, they expanded the love between two sisters. But like I want to talk about that later on
Right,
in podcast, because like I have a few things to say about that.
Like,
right.
Hmm. Um, what I like is that another thing I liked is how they also explained the parents' fate, and it was also a way to progress the story. It wasn't like okay, this is what happened to Elsa and Anna's parents, and then they keep going. No, like you see how it affects the characters. You see how like it actually like makes Elsa at first crumble, but then like more determined than ever to like finish this quest. And even though like she pushed, spoiler alert, even though she like pushed everyone away, she still went and accomplished this goal.
Yeah,
And that's what I liked about when they showed what really happened to Elsa's and Anna's parents.
right. Well, to be fair, Elsa was the only one that could do this. You know.
Mm-hmm.
was a gift.
Mm-hmm. Even though like it destroyed a lot of Disney theories, like I still liked how how
Blink.
it
Yeah,
was
the ship.
revealed. Yeah, because like I thought at one point it wasn't it confirmed by like the Frozen's director that the parents never died. They actually just became Tarzan's parents.
Just
That
theories.
what?
Well, that's like it's a part of a theory, but like I saw, wasn't there like a Twitter post that said that?
I don't. I don't think so. That's
A joke. I think they're
yeah.
making a joke of it.
Okay, okay.
Freaking
Well,
gorillas.
mhm,
I think they're just doing it for the laws of it, and they were like, I wonder how the theorists gonna react to this. Matt
mhm.
Pat cried.
Yeah,
But
Matt,
that's just a theory. A film theory. Thanks for watching.
mhm. Yeah. Um, I think another thing that I really liked about this movie was also, I guess, like how they used nature into this kind of like a part of their religion in this movie. How how nature is supposed to be like a part of these people, and that's why they have these powers, and also how it also like explains her origin, and like her parents' origins as well.
Yeah.
And that's about this movie. Like they actually explain like why she has these powers now.
Everyone would
Remember
have
back
P.
then, as the fans, that everyone that Disney said, "Oh, we don't know where her power came from." They're hiding behind her back.
Everyone
They're
was
like,
at peace.
"Hey, it's our don't know it."
Yeah. And now it's revealed like she's the new Avatar.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's like everyone was at peace until the Fire Nation attacked.
It's
Loser
like
is the Fire Lord.
yeah. Like Khan's could have been like the Fire Lord. He's red like fire.
Yeah.
Eek.
All right.
I think
We won't
Or
get
the rock
into
giants.
the
Top.
Rock Giants. I want to talk
yeah.
about them too, but are we done talking about what we like? You want to talk about the negatives?
Mm, is there anything you would like to add, Ruby?
No, no.
All right. Well, I want to say so. I was talking about how I liked the singing; it was really good, but at some point you could really hear the auto tune.
Yeah.
Oh
It,
wow, why something like that?
It's like when the mother started singing, she just like went on full auto tune. Like, man, like I can see where she got that powers from.
yeah.
Forget the power of wind. I want the power of auto tune.
Hmm.
The voice.
Yeah, same thing with the blonde guy. When he started singing, you could really hear like the pitch shift and like the auto tune kicked in.
Yeah.
I did like the reindeers though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the songs were overall good. It just that it took me out of the moment. The songs by themselves are good, but when they're in the movie and the voice just change all of a sudden, it really takes you out of the moment.
Yeah.
So it kind of feels safe, but most of all these songs are feeling safe.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's not, they're not as good as the first one. And honestly, even though they are good songs, I don't really remember half of them, to be honest now. Like, I remember Into the Unknown. I remember Kristoff's song because, like, it was just so
full
bad.
cringe.
Yeah, it was just literally like a early 2000s boy band music video.
Yeah,
So I remember it.
Most of
And
the other songs I can't remember either. Like Love, I remember only a bit, but I
yeah,
forgot it.
yeah,
yeah,
like I can sort of remember when they sang. I just don't remember what they sang about. Like I don't remember the lyrics or like
same. I mean, to be honest, I only remember two songs from Frozen One. It's "Let It Go" and what was the one that Anna and her boyfriend, quote unquote
But it was
boyfriend, was singing?
open door.
Yeah, I remember, those are
Love
the only
is
two
open
songs.
door.
I know the only two songs I remember from Frozen One, and same thing with Frozen Two. I remember "Into the Unknown," and then the opening tribal song.
mm-hmm.
I remember most. I remember all the first movie one. I remember the go. Of course, everyone think it's popular.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I remember well like even when I saw the first Frozen at first like I forgot a little bit about the songs but like everyone kept singing it that you just sort of like remember them now, suddenly. And
right.
in these songs, I don't think anybody's really going to like do the covers as like they did
Yeah,
in the original Frozen.
It's gonna be the two songs of
bro. There was so
Oh
many
no,
parody songs of "Let It Go" when it first dropped. All right, there were actual covers, and then there were parody covers.
Yeah. I I think the only parody cover that they're going to do is like either Into the Unknown or like her second song. I think it was like I forgot what it was called.
yourself.
Come show yourself. That's what it was called. Show yourself.
Right. Oh yeah,
You
she
know
was in
those
the ice
two
cave.
songs.
I think
But
those
You know, there's more singing in this movie. A lot more singing.
yeah, there was a lot more singing in this
Full on
one.
musical.
uh-huh.
Speaking of singing, I did not like Olaf's music. I feel like that just came out of nowhere and did not deserve to be in this movie.
To be honest, Olaf was just in this movie for way too long. Like even though like he was I wouldn't say he's annoying. It's just that there were moments when I felt like he could have just stayed back with Kristoff because like what I didn't like is that they literally forgot and abandoned Kristoff for I think at the half point of the movie and then like he comes back at
So
the end and like
Yeah.
that's what pissed me off of the movie.
Well, it's kind of hard to write a
was it?
gag
He was
character.
trying to
What was that?
be engaged with Anna, but all those other things are happening in the background.
Well, here's the thing about Olaf. It's really hard to write a gag character without having them be annoying.
That's true, but I mean like in the first Frozen film, he most of his
Flush out.
was most of his comedy was, him whispering a lot. Like he never really screamed in the first movie. And in this movie, oh my god, he screamed so many times and he just kept on like shouting, and like he wanted to just. At one point, like he was be- screeching when he was like following Elsa.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah, and it's like that's not. I think they forgot Olaf's comedy, or like his own like gag of
yeah.
being a comedy character, because like he got by because he was quiet the majority of the film, and he like came in like I think halfway through the film,
Yeah,
and
I'm
in
gonna
this
say in the first one he brought in halfway through, and this one he's in the entire thing.
Uh,
yes,
But the
yeah,
his song like it was just a PSA like, oh, when I grow up, this won't be so scary. And like, bro, did this really need to be in here? It's just a PSA for kids.
mm-hmm,
Which I understand Frozen for kids and whatnot, but still, it's like they just came out of left field.
mm-hmm, yeah. I think that the screen time they gave Olaf, they should have given half of it to Kristoff,
Right.
because in the first film, like even though he was a side character, he still helped out in the journey, and he still like helped Anna with getting to Elsa, and then he also like helped her get to the castle in the end when she was like having
Yeah.
a frozen heart.
Yeah.
And one in this one, Anna is honestly so inconsiderate to Kristoff, and then the movie is trying to like paint it that the relationship has progressed so much that he's ready to propose to her, but in this movie, she is just so she ignores him the majority of the time, and
Chris, Happy deserve better.
yeah, it's like I'm sorry, Kristoff. Like, do you really want to spend the rest of your life with her? She's like she ignores you the majority of the time, and she even abandoned him in the movie just to like
Yeah,
go.
she loves her sister more than she loves her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
like
Family.
Kristoff was like this like the side man. He was a third wheel.
Oh,
Yeah. She could have at least like asked somebody in the village, "Hey, like, I really got to go with my sister right now. Can you please tell my boyfriend that that I gotta go? Like, tell him don't worry about me. I just gotta go." No, she didn't even say that.
I feel
She just
like she should have said that to the tribal leaders, to the old lady. That way, it would give her more reason to go look for him.
exactly like that would have been like the perfect opportunity to like tell her that. But no, she's like, bye.
Bye, bye. I'm gonna be with my
she fade
sister.
away, like peace sign out.
Yep.
While we're talking on the sisters, can we just talk about their sisterly love?
Yeah, this is gonna sound really messed up, but Anna and Elsa act more like a romantic couple than Kristoff and Anna. It's
Oh
Yeah.
no, the fans of those ships are ruling the world.
Cause look, here's the thing. It's like, yes, like they love each other and whatnot, but like they love each other way too much in this movie. It's like they were holding hands for way too long. They were snuggling up against each other. They had their foreheads touching. They're like they're gonna sound weird, but their lips were like inches apart from each other. And I was like, sisters and siblings do not act like this at all.
With my sister, I'll be like, we will fight.
yeah,
Exactly.
exactly like there was one point. It was when like they found the ship and they had that fight, but even then it was played too safe. Like
Yeah.
they were still not nearly as angry as like real siblings would be in that
I would
situation.
be if I was my if I was a sister. Like
Yeah.
it's an
He,
anger thing. Like you saw your own parents, how you see them, literally how they died.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So so like anyone in that situation would be like really angry or like really riled up. And in this movie, like Anna has been really clingy to Elsa. Like she's always like trying to like grab her or like be with her. She never wants to leave her alone. And I think at that point in that movie, when like Elsa pushes her away, she should have like yelled at Anna, Anna, you're so clingy ever since like I came back and we reunited. You have not left me alone, and I get it. You're hurt and you want to spend time with me, but I need to do this alone. And then that's when she like pushes Anna away. And then maybe instead of Olaf, Kristoff was with her. And when they, recover and regroup in like that little cave, Kristoff can say, "Hey, you know that Elsa didn't mean it like that, but it's true. You kind of have been like clinging on to her ever since like she came back. I think you just need to like give her some space." And then that's when like Anna realizes, "Oh yeah, I have been clingy. I should give people their space. Like I have to let her go." But no, it's like the way that they made this film, it's like one moment Anna's very clingy and she doesn't want to let Elsa go, and then like one song later, after the after quote unquote death of a character, suddenly she accepts change, and I didn't think that was good at all.
Yeah, here's the thing about musicals is like you can use music as a way to progress a story, but in this case, it's like, oh, I'm gonna sing this song for like 2 minutes. Like, man, I feel better. I'm gonna change my worldview.
Yeah, and like a movie that came out that did a better way of like showing a character accepting change was Steven Universe the movie.
Right.
Because Steven in that entire movie, he didn't want to accept change from the beginning of the movie until like as the movie progresses and he's like at the final battle, he realizes that not only does he have to accept change, but if he lives in the past for too long, he's going to end up hurting this the villain even more because he doesn't want to invite her into his life, or he doesn't want to really like I would say he wouldn't really have the time, nor would he want the need to give her the help or attention she needs, because he just wants to hurry things up to get to his happily ever after.
Right.
And in this movie, Anna is just, yeah, she mentions that she doesn't want change to happen and she just wants to cling on to her sister. But then, like, just one song later, she's like, okay, I accept change. Steven had like an entire movie to accept that. And Anna's like, okay, okay, I accept it.
Yeah, and like in the beginning of the movie, Anna, she was saying about things will change, but one thing will never change is my inner circle, my friends, my family. That thing will never change. And I sat there and I was like, yeah, that thing's gonna change. There's gonna be the conflict of the movie that you're gonna
That
have to
literally had
realize
happened.
that people move on and people will change.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, that was her conflict. She didn't want to lose what she has, so she was just clinging on at every moment.
Hmm. That's another thing that I just sort of realized a problem with the movie. Because, like, in the first movie of Frozen was about family love and the sisters finally reunited and being a family again. And what happens at the end of this movie? They're separated again. Like, I get that Elsa wants to be, I guess, wants to live in the woods, but I mean, like, doesn't that completely ruin the first movie?
Well, it's like this movie is all about change. Things change, people move on. And even though she's living in like a different town or country, they're still having game night and stuff like that. So it's like she moved away, but she's not gone. I feel like in the first movie, even though they were living in the same castle, there were more distance between them. In this one, she's like a whole country away, but they're still connected more than ever.
That's true, but I mean, like I watched another reviewer who pointed this out, but like Disney is starting to make this trend where the characters separate at the end. Like it happened in Toy Story 4 and then it happened in Wreck-It Ralph 4. I mean
I
2.
noticed that too. I was like,
Oh yeah, I was really surprised that Penelope went off to go live with that crew of people.
Yeah, and it's like, but I mean, like, here's the difference between Wreck-It Ralph 2 and Frozen 2. In Wreck-It Ralph 2, they established that Ralph was way too clingy and that Penelope really did want it to, move on, and that even in the end, Ralph went through an arc and he realized that he had to let Penelope go.
Yeah, he
And,
literally had to see himself being clingy.
yeah. And in and in Frozen 2, yeah, they sort of established it, but nowhere in the movie does Elsa tell Anna, "Hey, you are too clingy. Like, please, like I got to do this by myself."
I don't think anyone like confront her about it.
Yeah, like nobody did. She didn't really go through an arc of like realizing she has to let her sister go. It's like at the end of the movie she realizes, "Oh, Elsa, you're the new spirit, okay." And then like she makes her and then Elsa makes her queen. And then she suddenly like okay with letting her sister, the person that she has literally like trying to like hang on to the entire movie, and the person that she went on the journey in the first movie to save, suddenly she's okay with like letting her go.
Yeah, it's like in the first movie, Anna, she deserved to be queen in that one because she was more of a leader. In this one, she was a follower. You know, she followed Elsa into the woods and like she followed her to like the boat. And the only way for Elsa to get rid of her had to push her away. And then the whole scene with the dam, the only reason Anna knew what to do was because of Elsa. Elsa sent that message to her, so she was just listening to Elsa. So I don't understand why Anna, was deserving to be in a queen when she's not even a leader. She's a follower.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of that scene with the dam, like a little before it, Olaf's death, quote unquote death. It was like, oh, he was fading away. It was like, Anna, I don't feel so good.
I know snap out of existence.
And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. It's like, he was dying, and like at the theater, this girl right next to me was like, "Oh my god, I'm crying." Anna is, oh no, Olaf's dying. I was like, "Bitch, this is a Disney movie, all right? When was the last time they killed off a main character, all right? That wasn't within the first 10 minutes."
I don't know. It's just like they're kids. Like, yeah, the entire theater full of kids were like sobbing because of Olaf, and I'm just like, I'm rolling my eyes because like we know they're not gonna kill off freaking Olaf.
Yeah,
Like
they're
he's
gonna be some Deus Ex Machina. I was like, "Oh, the water remembers him, so here's my frozen powers," and lo and behold, that what happened. And like
yeah,
he's gone, but he's gonna come back because this is Disney, all right? They're not gonna kill him off.
yeah. I
My
just
friend next to me that we're watching that part. My friend said, "Oh my god, he's dead," and I told her,
You cut off.
"I
You cut off. What was the punchline?
yeah. What was
did."
the
I told my friend the joke of the Thanos snap, and she just gave up on me after she just saw all of.
I mean, yeah, he did get snapped.
And then I was like, and then when he came back, he was. I just told her, he's like, "We won, Elsa. We won."
Uh, but let's talk about when Elsa went to the Ice Palace.
I
This
think that was
cave.
Well, the
yeah.
Ice Cave, Ice Palace, whatever it was. I thought visually it was really gorgeous, and especially when Elsa, she let her hair go out. I'm like, ooh, damn, girl, hold up.
Yeah, there was a lot of new character designs in this movie. Like everyone seemed to constantly have like a new outfit, like every scene they were in. But first, the reason why I don't mind it is because they're actually really good character designs, especially when she is in that ice palace. Like when she does like her new dress transformation, she just looks so gorgeous in that because like she represents winter so well. And when she reunites with Anna again, Anna also represents autumn so well too. So it's kind of like,
Oh yeah.
so that's what I like about their new character designs. And that's what's something that I wanted to say when we were talking about the good things, but I guess like, we didn't have that much time for it.
Right. When they were in the Ice Palace and they were going through all the memories, I was like, that was really good. But I feel like this movie had way too many callbacks to the first Frozen.
Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah,
Wait.
it's like in the blonde guy's song. They were literally showing shots from the first Frozen, and then they were singing "Let It Go." And in the Ice Palace, they had like ice recreation of all the scenes from the first movie. And it was like, did we really need all these callbacks to the first movie?
Yeah, not only that,
Really?
like
Well, it's
Olaf.
been like years, longer years. It came out 2012.
Do you know how many people watch Frozen 1 over and over?
Yeah, there's a reason why it's so overplayed right now. Like nobody needs a recap of what happened in the first movie. We all know what happened.
It's like when Olaf recapped it, that was funny. I thought that was really good. But
Yeah,
anything else is like it was too much. It's like this is not a standalone movie. I know this is a sequel, but like this movie did not stand alone by itself. Like when I think of sequels that could stand alone by itself, I think of Shrek 2. I think of any of the Kung Fu Pandas.
Panda
Sequels.
2 was the best movie.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
like sequels. That they're sequels and they play off the first one, but like they could be standalone movies. And this one is not really like a sequel that can stand on its own.
Yeah, it was not. It's just you have to see the first movie, and even if you didn't see the first movie, the second movie will constantly remind you about the first movie.
Yeah.
Where like in Kung Fu
They
Panda,
wanted DVD sales.
Yeah.
where like
Well, Disney Plus.
yeah,
Uh,
where a sequel that works, like you mentioned before, like Kung Fu Panda 2. When you watch that movie, you can literally just watch it by itself and you can sort of like get the gist of it. Like, Po is a warrior, like a chosen one, and then he's going through this arc about his past. I think at one point they do flashback the first movie, but that was because but first it was because of character development, him realizing just how far he's come as a character. And then, like, the next scene, he's motivated to fight the villain.
right.
So that's how it works. And in Frozen 2, they they only call back to the first movie just for jokes. That's literally all they want to recap the first movie, just for jokes.
Yeah, but even then, like I said, the Olaf scene that should have been the only callback. I feel
Mm.
like the blonde guy scene when he was singing, I feel like they didn't really need to have like the screenshots from the first movie. And in the Frozen Palace, I feel like the only thing that should have been like reanimated or like they're seeing them in ice form. I think the only scene that should have been there is when the king was about to betray the Indian.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I don't think we need to see all the Frozen 1 recreation.
yeah, we didn't really
Uh,
need.
Also, in that, okay, here's like my big issue, all right? I don't understand why Elsa got turned into ice. If she's like the fifth element and has control over winter, why did the palace or her powers go out of control, and why did she turn herself or like the palace turn her into ice? The only reason I could think of is for Anna to have spotlight, because like if Elsa didn't get frozen, she would have like gone to the dam and destroyed herself, using the rock giants. But in this one, she got frozen, and so like the writers needed a way for Anna to have that one moment of spotlight. They needed that one moment, so they needed a way to get rid of Elsa. So the only way for them to do that to freeze her up. But I understand that, but I don't understand in universe logic why did she get frozen?
That part I'm
oh,
confused too.
Like the
so
writers
cold.
need to get rid of Elsa so Anna could have her moment. But I don't understand why she would turn to Frozen in universe.
Let
It
it go.
it's just cold.
She
Let it go.
says in the freaking song, the cold doesn't bother me anyway.
Let it go.
So like this one scene like really bothers me. I get why the writers put it in there, but I don't understand why in universe that happened.
It doesn't make sense at all because even if you say, "Oh, the spirits trapped her in," Elsa hasn't done anything at all to anger the spirits or anything. If they really want to do,
And like the spirit's been calling her to the ice palace. She wanted her to be there.
the only thing that I can say that can work, if they really wanted to like freeze her to death, freeze her like that just for Anna to get the spotlight, I think they should have like made the spirits more, um, uh,
Aggressive.
yeah, aggressive,
True.
or like maybe some spirits wanted to help her out, but then like another spirit wanted to like punish her for the sins of her grandfather's mistakes.
Right.
So,
Speaking of,
that
oh,
could have worked.
I want to say, speaking of the spirits, you know how Elsa, she conquered the wind, fire, and water spirits.
Mm-hmm.
And then Anna, she didn't really conquer the earth. She just used them, you know? She just used them to destroy the dam. She didn't really conquer them. She didn't really communicate with them. She just used them, manipulate them to destroy the dam.
Yeah. Yeah, like Earth wasn't really conquered in this film at all. It was just,
Disappointment.
yeah. And even if it was, even let's say Anna conquered Earth, then I think that would have been, I wouldn't have liked that because Elsa has been already like on this journey to like conquer all these natures and she's supposed to like represent the fifth spirit. So wouldn't it make sense for her to conquer Earth instead of Anna?
Yeah, but like I said, if Elsa didn't get frozen over, Anna would have been useless in this movie, and she needs that one moment of spotlight.
I don't know. Maybe like Anna should have been frozen instead of Elsa. Like I know that would have been like a repeat of the
Uh,
first movie, but I mean they're already repeating a lot in this
Yeah,
as
they're
well.
already doing a lot of callbacks. I mean,
I
I go
wanted to
all the way.
subvert your expectation.
Mm-hmm. I
Well,
don't.
They fail a little bit. It's like Star Wars
Yeah.
sequels,
well,
not the originals.
Mm-hmm.
well, is that it? Anything else you all want to talk about?
Let me see. Oh yeah. Like here's one thing that I didn't really think was that good. The natives versus the soldiers were kind of confusing.
Oh yeah,
Out of nowhere, actually.
Well, I mean, like the beginning of the film, like the origin story, like I can understand that, but then like when Anna, Elsa, and Kristoff like go into the forest and then they see them, it's implied that they're still fighting after all these years, but then they're cool enough for the soldiers to sort of live with them, or they're still cool with them like having conversations, like they're still friends or something like that. Like that didn't make sense at all to me.
well,
It
I don't think they've been fighting for like 30 years straight. I think they were just like the soldiers went to go live over there in this part of land, and the natives went to go live on this part of land. If the two should like cross over to each other lands, that when they'll fight. I don't think they've been constantly battling for 30 years. It's like
yeah,
cats, It's like they just stare at each other angrily, just waiting for
yeah,
the other one to attack first.
yeah, but I mean, like the movie makes it a big deal that this is a conflict. Like they've been fighting so many years because of this, and like even the movie itself says like they had to break the dam because like to right the wrong that has happened to the native, and but then like the natives still sort of like let the remaining soldiers live. If it really was that big of a deal to the natives, they would have killed these soldiers, or like they would have not existed at all. So it doesn't make sense that these soldiers were still alive after all these years, especially since the movie kept making it a big deal of how like Arendelle wronged them.
Right.
So
I knew
that
it was down the wrong down.
hmm it didn't make sense to me about that, like that conflict.
Well, is that it? Anyone else? Ruby, you got anything to say?
Also, didn't have no love interest.
Yeah. The love interest in this movie was like really weak, and like I said, the love between the two sisters, it was a little too much love. You know what I mean?
It's like somebody from Alabama
I'm
wrote
gonna say this. Would this
Sweet
movie made in
home
Alabama?
Alabama. Woo!
Sweet home Alabama.
yeah, like
That should have been the end credit of this whole movie.
yeah, just like Anna and Elsa like reuniting again for game night, and then it cuts Sweet Home Alabama. Ba, da, 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 da. That would have been
Oh
perfect.
God.
It's
Yeah.
just like I get what they were trying to do with this movie. They were trying to like show just how close the sisters were, but I mean,
It was too close. You know, like back it up a little bit.
yeah. I think
It's so touchy.
yeah, I think a really good example of what sisters should act is Lilo and Stitch.
Oh
Like not
yeah.
Lilo, like
Yes,
those.
because they fight, they make up, and like they hug it out and all that. And they, even in the first 10 minutes, they have like a screaming contest, like "Go to your room, I'm already in my room," and they scream into their pillows. And it's like that's how sisters act. That's how siblings act. You know. In
Yeah,
this movie, they didn't scream at her at all. It's like they barely argued or anything, and they, I don't know, they didn't really act like
Argue
sisters.
about why Elsa's room was so cold.
exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. It
Not
just
cold enough for me to sleep.
Hmm.
this movie they took the sisters' love a little too far. It went too far when you think they have more love for each other than Anna and the boy.
Yeah, like honestly, Kristoff should have just moved on because like Anna was just so inconsiderate to him in this entire movie. Like he
You
should
don't
have went.
remember? Oh, you can go ahead and keep going.
He should have went with like the deer native boy. Because like
Yeah,
they had so much more in common. He was trying to help him out and he cared about him. So like Kristoff should have just like been like, you know what, Anna, you obviously just want to be with your sister. This guy, he's kind of hot and I'm really into that stuff.
he could
But
talk to the mooses, and I could relate to him on a spiritual level.
yeah, so like
Yes.
like that was more of a connection than like her and Kristoff. And like in the first movie, Kristoff and Anna were pretty cute together, and in this one, Anna's just kind of like
Sister.
she's just kind of a bitch to him.
Yeah.
And when he proposed to her, I didn't really want them to be together. It's just Anna needed to like she just needed to like show some affection to him. She was just really
Like she
she was
was really like
just
clingy and dependent on her sister.
yeah, and it's like okay,
So soft.
chill, chill.
So soft.
Hmm.
I remember the first trailer came out that everyone wanted the girl in the first trailer be Elsa's girlfriend, and then now it's been revealed that that girl was
Her
her
mother.
mom.
Yeah.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, there was like a lot of fan theories on how Elsa was gonna get a girlfriend, and the girl with the wind powers was gonna be her girlfriend, but it turns out that was just her mother.
I didn't realize that that girl from the trailer was the mom. It's just that's another thing. I don't believe for a second that the mother was a native. Because if you look at her when she was younger, she looks nothing like herself when she gets older. Like, she's like, she looks like the natives, a little tan, narrow eyes, and, the dark hair.
Yeah.
And then when she grows up, she's suddenly like extremely pale. I think her eye colors change, and then her hair becomes kind of like a reddish brown. Like
Well, there's only so much makeup can do, and I don't know how far in technology they are in that timeline, but it's true. I'm gonna have to like go back and look at the mother full grown, but yeah, I do agree with that.
yeah,
Remember back then that they're shipping her with Elsa, and then watched the movie and just found out. I was like, oh god.
I mean,
It
hell, they're already shipping her with her own sister.
yeah.
gets
This movie,
incest. It's a incest.
there's so much incest in this fandom. Like, what the hell is
It's
going?
like I was watching this movie. I was like, this movie making me. It's giving me thoughts that I do not agree with.
Yeah, they're
The
like
road does not break.
they're
The road is
fueling,
breaking apart.
they're fueling the wrong ships. They are. Like,
Yeah.
Disney, stop this. If you're gonna
Guess
give it,
this is standing is in Alabama.
uh-huh. Oh
Well,
my,
I think that let's just wrap it up now. I
yeah.
think we touch on everything in this movie.
Hmm.
Well, this has been the Too Fast podcast. Anything else y'all would say? Generation Defenders. You want to talk about your stuff?
At the end of the day, I think this movie is okay. And if you want to check out my channel for some of my personal comics, then click the link below. And thank you for having me here.
Ruby, anything you want to say?
Is this movie exist?
Same. Yeah, I thought this movie was really good. It did not stand alone by itself, but overall, it's a really good movie. Like, I might go back and watch it like one or two more times and then forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this has been Too Fast Joe and the Too Fast podcast. Remember, go fast, don't be last.